has its own challenges, has its own obstacles, and you have to adjust to it. And this is a different year with a different challenge, a different obstacle, so you have to adjust to that and have that growth mindset. So, the mentality for me, hasn't changed, even though we had the layoff and the pandemic hit and we had to go into cancellation of our season for a few months. But every year you is going to have some things that you have to adjust to that you may not be ready for, or you may be ready for, and so it's the same with 1920.
Hey LeBron, it's Dave. Kemba Walker shared an observation about you last week where he said that, man, this must be a great experience for LeBron because he.
You cut off.
Yeah, I'm back. He's been so used to being in the spotlight for so long that he just kind of he doesn't necessarily need security guards, and he's not being approached by people enamored by his celebrity. He just gets to kind of be a person. I wondered if you could just speak to your experience in that realm, just kind of being able to live and maybe feel comfortable down there.
Well, I mean, when the season was suspended, I got an opportunity to be home with my family for the last 4 months. Probably since, I would say, my freshman year in high school. I think that was our last year of not traveling across America and around the world to play the game of basketball. It was the first time that I really got an opportunity to have extended time home with my family. Other than that, I've been traveling since I was 15 years old. So that's over 20 years. To have that, every day, seeing my wife, seeing my kids, being home, being present, that was a blessing, definitely, having this experience right here, it feels like a big old AAU tournament for grown men. And, so you take it and you enjoy it, and we get to do what we love to do, and that's play the game of basketball and be with our teammates and brothers. So it's all good.
LeBron, the next question will be from Tanya here, but if you could answer to the screen, that would be great.
We haven't gotten to talk to you since John Lewis died. I was wondering if you could speak about what to you is just speak about his legacy and what he meant to you.
I think not only what John Lewis meant to me, but for Black America in general, is just that, never be afraid of conflict. Good conflict, positive conflict that can create change. And, what John Lewis was able to do in his tenure and his time, not only, in the civil rights movement, but also being, in Georgia, being in the city of Atlanta, and the things that he stood for, what he preached, what he stand for every single day. I think it just hit homes not only in the areas that he was in, but for Black America all over the world. So obviously it was a sad day for all of us hearing that news from such a legend. But when you do the things that you do while you're living, your name will last forever and your legacy will live forever. So, my prayers and my thoughts goes out to his family, and my thoughts and prayers goes up to the heavens above and the angels that's watching over him now.
Hey LeBron, it's Bill Oram. We're coming up on 6 months since Kobe passed, and at the time you guys talked a lot about really wanting to respect his legacy with the way you played, and felt in some ways maybe that he was with you spiritually as you guys were kind of moving on with the season. So much has happened since then. I'm just curious how that part of your season and your experience this season fits into what you guys are trying to do now, and how his memory kind of fits in now.
A day doesn't go by where I don't think about him. A day doesn't go by where our organization does not remember him. And think about not only Cole but Gigi, Vanessa, and other girls. They're a part of this family, just as big as anybody in his organization history. So we still wear 2, 4, and 8, and the number 2 with pride and with remembrance of how great they were. So I mean, you see it throughout the day from guys. Guys in our team wear his shoes today. So, guys that wear his shoes on the day, I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, it says Joe Varden is talking. So Joe, why this is going on? Did you get my answer? Hopefully it was okay.
Okay. Joe has a question here live.
I said we were going to have fun. LeBron, you've been living this for, I guess, over a week now, maybe 2 weeks. Do you feel, having had this experience, do you feel comfortable that this is going to work?
I mean, I think I said the first time I did media that until something, if it was to happen, then you approach it. I mean, this, everything is gone the way it's supposed to go since we've been here. And it's given me no indication why it won't continue. If something happens or a spike happens, which we don't believe it is, but if something happens, then we adjust and go forward from there. But I don't wake up in the morning and say, okay, this may not work. I don't approach it that way. I woke up this morning thinking about my family, one, and then thinking about how it's going to impact practice today and help us get better. That's it.
Last two questions, Rachel.
They announced that they're going to do voting for postseason awards, including MVP, with the cutoff being when the shutdown happened. What do you think of that?
When the show, so
Nothing counts.
nothing counts after that. I mean, I don't really have a thought because I haven't really thought about it until now, until you asked the question. But I think those awards are always great this year, throughout this time of the year. To acknowledge the individuals that's had, great years, not only from a player's perspective, but from a coach's perspective as well. So we'll see what happens.
You didn't get the chance. I mean, there was supposed to be a quarter of the season left when the shutdown happened. You were having a particularly good stretch at that point. Are you disappointed not having the chance of the final quarter of the season to do what you wanted to do?
No, I'm not disappointed because, things happen and things that you control what you can control, and I can't control that. But as far as the MVP race, I think I, show what I'm capable of doing, not only individually, but from a team's perspective. Us being number one in the West, there was a lot of conversation about, LeBron can do those things in the East, but if he ever came to the West, what can he do? I heard all of that. And to be able to have our team at the top of the Western Conference and playing the way that we were playing at that time and the way I was playing, that's definitely a good feeling.
All right, Mark, last question.
Hi, LeBron. Was there a point during this process where things felt normal, or is that still an ongoing thing of just playing again and just the day-to-day with just...
No, it's 2020. Everyone keeps asking me how is the bubble or how's it going, and I just say it's 2020. Nothing is normal in 2020. Nothing seems as is, and who knows if it will ever go back to the way it was. Who knows? But you make the adjustments and you figure it out along the way. That's what life is all about. Life throws you curveballs sometimes, and it's how you not only approach it, but how you appreciate it as well. So nothing is normal, but what is the same is that floor we just came off of, my teammates. And what we have, what we're here to do, and that's to lock in and stay focused and go about this ride, accordingly. So, but it's 2020, so it's different. It's different from the vision of 2020. It's not that clear.
That's a thing.
Take one last question.
I was wondering, when you think about the hiatus and the things that you couldn't do, is there anything now, getting back to basketball, getting back to the team, in particular, that takes on added significance and you say, gosh, I really missed X or Y?
The only thing I missed during lockdown, the only thing that I missed during the COVID and the quarantine period was my mother. It's the first time in my life that I went that long without seeing my mom. I hadn't seen my mom since All-Star Weekend, and then I saw her 2 weeks or 3 weeks before we had to report to our respective cities. So that was extreme for me. Being, obviously you guys know my story, being coming from a single parent household, being the only child. My mother was 16 when she had me, and for me to be away from her for that long, she was like, I'm not leaving Akron. I'm not getting on the plane. I'm not, just in due time. My mom kept me she kept me sane because she said, in due time, we'll join back again. So, but that's the only thing that I really missed. I would go outside and play the game of basketball with my boys all the time. So I get my little fix from that. We would go outside, have fun. I go downstairs, play the video game, play basketball. So, that was fun. I guess I can say the competitive side too. My mom is just competing, just like going against somebody and someone trying to stop me and me trying to stop them. That's something that I miss as well.
Thanks, LeBron.
Nice.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tanisha.
LJ.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all good? Too bad I
All
can't
right,
see y'all.
Tanisha, it looks like we're going to go to Coach.
Let's get ready for Hoop Jab.